Hey, what's going on guys? Andy here. Welcome back to The 90s Are Rad. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. So instead of doing like a top 5 or a commercial compilation, I was like, why not do one of these ranking videos? I've seen a bunch of people do them and I really enjoy watching them. So today we're going to be ranking... You guys already know from the title. We're going to be ranking DCOMs.
Let's watch a Disney Channel movie. Let's watch a Disney Channel movie. We're gonna watch a Disney Channel movie. Let's watch a Disney Channel movie. Let's watch a Disney Channel movie.
Disney Channel original movies. This was a huge thing back in the day, back growing up in elementary school. If you didn't see the latest DCOM, you were a loser. I was a loser for other different reasons. But yeah, so we're gonna be ranking DCOMs. Now, I'm actually gonna be splitting this up into 3 different parts from 97 to 2005. You're probably like, wait, why 2005? Because that's when I stopped watching them, and that's when I stopped caring, and I didn't want to rank all of them. And I just really wanted to rank the ones that I remembered watching and the ones from my childhood. Plus, DCOMs didn't start until like 97. So it's like, I didn't want to do like 12 of them. I want to do a good amount. And there's some in the early 2000s that are great that a lot of 90s kids or just kids that grew up watching DCOMs really remember. There are a couple movies that are not gonna be on this list because they're not DCOMs. A lot of people think they are, but unfortunately they're not. So those being like Susie Q, Paper Brigade, Model Behavior, Punks, that was one of my favorites. There's a couple others. I'll have a list down below of some ones that people think are DCOMs, but unfortunately they're not. The confusion is because they aired on Disney Channel, and that was like the main thing that they aired on. They're just not DCOMs. Actually, before we get started, let me just tell you guys how I'm gonna be basing my rankings. So basically, there's a couple things. 1, how good they are. 2, how rememberable, that's not a word, how memorable, how well I remember them. And 3, how much I like them. Without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so starting this list off, we have Under Wraps. This movie is great. It's a really good Halloween movie. I'm not going to do like a review of it, but if you've seen it, you know it. If you're watching this, you know exactly what DCOMs are. Under Wraps is really good. It's basically about like a group of kids that go into like this creepy mansion, house, big house, you know, typical trope type of thing, and they find a mummy. The mummy comes to life and they befriend said mummy, and it's just like their adventures with the mummy. Again, I'm not gonna go into like crazy details, but for the acting, it's really good. Like, especially for kids, like it's really good. Like sometimes, especially with like newer shows, like you'll see kid actors and you're just like, oh, okay. But no, it was super solid. It's a really good, solid, family-friendly Halloween movie. Super good. I love it. I personally think it's a smidge above Halloweentown, not by much, but I prefer Under Wraps over Halloweentown, so I'm gonna give this an A. Next up, we have You Lucky Dog. I remember seeing this a couple times. I don't remember much. I do know it has the dude from Growing Pains in it. This dude, I don't really remember it that much. When I did watch it, I remember it being okay. Like, I remember there being some funny parts. Overall, for me, it's not like one of those essential Disney Channel original movies that you have to see. But it was okay. Like, I definitely understand why people enjoyed it. So I'm gonna give this one a C. Next up, we have Brink. This is an S. Like, honestly, this is one of my all-time favorite DCOMs of all time, obviously. But this movie is super solid. So if you guys didn't know, I'm super big into like action sports, like inline skating, BMX, dirt bikes, skateboarding, all that stuff. I used to skate all the time, skateboarding. But before I started skateboarding, I used to be into inline skating, rollerblading. So when Brink came out, I was all about it because I was like, oh yeah, rollerblading, oh yeah, oh yeah. But it's honestly just a really good movie. Like, there's some really funny parts in it. It has some heart and soul. Like I said, it's an S. Also, the music is great. If you like 90s punk / ska type music, you're gonna love the soundtrack. And it's great. And you know, you got Team Pup and Suds, X-Blades, Let's Blade Bruh, not Beyblades. But Brink is an S. Definitely check it out. Next up, we have Halloweentown. Halloweentown is one of those essential Halloween movies that you watch during Halloween time. And you know, you can watch it throughout the year, but it's definitely one of those really good, solid Halloween movies. Even it being like a kid movie, it's super solid. Like, there's adults that love this movie. Not even like adults like my age, like, I'm talking like my parents. Like, my stepmom used to like this movie. That's saying something. Like, it's really good. It's really well acted. The effects in it are pretty solid, especially the practical effects, like all the makeup and stuff. And it just has this really unique world, and it's just super good. It's a really solid movie. Like I said, I think Under Wraps is slightly better, not by much, but it's slightly better than this. So I'm gonna give Halloweentown an A as well. Next up, we have Xenon, Girl of the 21st Century. This movie, I remember really liking back in the day. I haven't seen it in a really long time. I should probably rewatch it, but I remember it being really good. I did have a crush on the main chick when I was younger. I was like, oh lordy. Overall, I thought it was pretty good. There is that one song that, what's it called? Like Supernova Girl or something. Make my heart go, my supernova girl. It's super catchy. Every once in a while, like that'll just pop in my head and it'll be stuck in my head for a very long time. Overall, it was a pretty solid movie. I'm gonna give it a B. It could be a little bit better, but it wasn't that bad. Next up, we have Can of Worms. This is just like You Lucky Dog, where I remember seeing it, but I don't remember much about it. I remember it being okay. It wasn't like one of my favorites. It wasn't like one of those essential DCOMs that you have to see. At least in my opinion. Like I said, I thought it was okay. I'm gonna give it a C only because it's one of those that you probably don't remember. At least I don't. And it's like, I know I've seen it. I've seen pretty much all of these DCOMs that are on this list. I'm gonna give it a C. So we are about halfway through this list. I just want to thank you guys for watching and subscribing. If you have not subscribed yet, consider doing so because I have some awesome 90s content that will be coming out. Also, check out this dope Rocco's Modern Life shirt. Can I have Five Below? $5. Can't beat it. Let's go back to the list. Next up, we have The 13th Year. This is one of those essential DCOMs that you have to see. So pretty much if it's an A or an S, it's like, in my opinion, you have to see them. Like, they're just that good. The 13th Year is just one of those movies that I absolutely love. It's definitely unique. The overall premise is these couple are out on the ocean in their boat and they hear a baby crying and they find a baby in their boat and they're like, oh, what's this baby? Let's keep it. Let's name him. And it's basically, the movie is about like his 13th birthday. Turns out he is a mermaid, merman, merperson, mermaid man and barnacle boy. But it's really good. It's about him just going through all these changes, trying to figure out kind of what's going on. And then it's him reconnecting with his birth mother. Spoiler, sorry if I ruined it. Go check it out. I'm gonna give it an A. It's so good, it's really good. I think you guys would really enjoy it. Another one of those essential DCOMs that you have to see is Smart House. This movie, I wish I had a house like this, kind of, when it was okay. So it's basically about this kid who's taking care of like his dad and his little sister. Not really taking care of, but he's doing like the mom duties because their mom passed away. It was really sad, and they kind of go into that a little bit. into the movie. But they win this smart house with this AI named Pat. It's so good. There's a couple scenes that are just great. Like they have this huge party and there's a giant mess, and Pat Pat sucks everything into the floor. Like that's how the house gets clean. Pat can also make you smoothies, can do other things. They can wake you up with these cool, totally not green screen wall things that are things. I don't know what I'm saying. But Smart House, one of those essential movies. I'm gonna give it an A as well. Next is Johnny Tsunami. Again, I'm into action sports, so I have to rank it a little bit higher. One of those, in my opinion, essential movies. I'm gonna give it an S. It's basically this kid who's a surfer from Hawaii, moves to Vermont because dad got a job. He's in like this really preppy school that's all about skiing. And if you're a snowboarder, you're a loser, you're scum, get out of here, go on the crappy side of the mountain. But it's basically just him being like, nah, why can't we just share it and all this stuff. It's super good. It has famous Jet Jackson, what's his name? Oh my God, what's his name? It's a great movie. Definitely check it out. I'm gonna give it an S. Next up we have Genius. This is, I feel like, a very underrated movie. Not a lot of people talk about. It's actually one of the better DCOMs. It's definitely, I would say, a little bit more well acted, in my opinion. It has a young Emmy Rossman, super good. This kid who's like a genius, just wants to be a normal, popular kid, you know, typical. I feel like that's a really typical trope. And yeah, it's just him just trying to do this, like be two places at once. Doesn't really work out. But they're just like, be who you are, we'll like you. And that's kind of what happens. But this movie, I'm gonna give an A. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor, check it out. It's a lot better than what you probably think. Don't look under the bed. This was very creepy. As like for a Disney movie, very creepy. Definitely has some scary elements in it. Like the boogeyman, boogie person, you know. It was definitely pretty frightening. Definitely had some scary sequences, especially for it being like a DCOM. DCOMs are all about not being like terrifying. They're trying to be super appealing to the mass audience. But this one's definitely creepy. There's some really cool sequences in it. It's funny, it's scary. It's a great Halloween movie. I'm gonna give it an A. It's right up there, you know, with Under Wraps and Halloweentown. It's one of those Halloween movies you have to see. Super good, definitely check it out. It's an A. And last on this list, we have Horse Sense. Horse Sense, I'm just coming out and say it's an S. So this movie has a lot of heart, and it definitely has some of the better acting in all the DCOMs. So this and like Brink, in my opinion, well, this movie probably has better acting than Brink, but it's just a very well acted, very well put together movie. It'll hit you emotionally. It's just one of those movies that you can definitely tell, like, that's what the actors are actually feeling. Like, that's how you feel, and that's the way movies should be. Honestly, this is not just for it being a DCOM, for it being just a regular movie. It's super solid. It has the Lawrence brothers in it. They always do very well together, obviously because they're related. They have really good chemistry. Like I said, it's an S. I don't want to go too much into the plot. Definitely check it out. I think you guys will really enjoy it. So that's gonna do it for part 1 of this DCOM list. Let me know in the comments down below, what did you pick, or how would you rank these? Let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing. I'll see you guys later. Peace.